Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of The Flank. All right, I'm joined by Ben J. Nassim, Chris Duarte, Parasite, and of course, the one and only Patrick Price over at X Defiant Aches. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for your co-host. How you guys all doing today, man? You guys doing good? Pat, don't worry. I already know what you're thinking. Don't worry. I got you, bro. I got you.
What am I thinking?
I gotta move you to your spot. It's your spot, Pat.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We got a swap ski, Pat.
Yeah, nah.
Jeez, what a day, bro. That was a long day.
Seating on the flank? It's not random.
Pat's got preferences, and we
okay.
So
Yeah. Pat likes being at the top, but yeah, long day, Pat. Long day, stressful day.
Wait, Tom, I'm off, Tom.
You're off.
Yeah, he's off a little bit right there. The frame is kind of messed up, yeah.
You gotta slide off to the left a little bit.
Don't worry, Pat. I'm gonna center your face. Don't worry, bro.
But listen, while you do that, Tom, it was a great day. Obviously, this morning, if people didn't watch that Arsenal-Manchester United game, that game was lit. Gio Reyna scored a goal in the Borussia Dortmund game. That was a banger. Obviously, some NFL games going on right now. It looks like the Cowboys are about to go down to the Niners. So tough scenes over in Dallas. They once again don't go deep in the playoffs. And speaking of a long day, today was definitely a day of Call of Duty.
Yeah, nah, they had some problems today at the studio. They had the studio over in Ohio, and Ben, you're there now, but there's just a really bad snowstorm going on over there right now. So the colleague just has to deal with this crap, man. They got a snowstorm. They lost power. And it is what it is. They dealt with a lot of delays, and then we obviously went to the last match with Faze and experienced a lot of delays with that one as well because they were running into some problems with the server. So yeah, man, long day. Ben, what are you cheesing at over there? What are you looking at, man?
You're not gonna believe it, but someone FaceTime me.
What? I'm guessing it's probably MC if you're cheesing because that's your favorite person ever.
he FaceTime me and then hung up, bro.
Yo, listen, I just want to say all the people in the chat were doubting me, but it was 6-4, gentlemen.
They were doubting you.
It was 6-4.
Wait, you're talking about like what during at the end when you're predicting?
Yeah, it was 6-4, Tom. It was not 6-5.
Wait, are you sure? Because the subliners came in and said it was 5-5, bro.
No, wait, did you not look in the group chat? Crowder said it was 4-2 before the replay.
I haven't, bro. The group chat's going so fast. I'm streaming,
really fast,
like I'm streaming.
Yeah.
So I didn't see it, but I thought because I was confused because you were coming in saying one thing and subliners was coming in saying another thing.
But I was just saying it and making the chat lose full.
Well, listen, I don't want to take up too much time. It's been a long day, so I don't want to sit here and buzz too many balls. Let's hop into it and get into the match, man. We got the Vegas Legion going up against the London Royal Ravens to kick off the day. We got a Mercado Hardpoint, Mercado Search, Hotel Control, Hydro Hardpoint, LSC S&D. Gentlemen, any thoughts on the vetoes? Anything?
I mean, that's a question to Ace if you want to talk about anything on your side or no comment.
No, I just we played our maps that we like to play and we won.
That's
if you want to speak on it, obviously, Tank had a crazy series, but starting off with you personally, obviously, have you had to adjust your play style at all in the last couple of matches to try and get more out of your teammates, or has this been more of just trying to keep plugging away at what you guys have been doing in practice?
No, yeah. Ever since bringing back Paul, we've been trying to get him comfortable with everything that we want to do on the team for within 3 days of practice, 3-4 days of practice. So it's been very difficult trying to get everyone comfortable, and we've only had one S&D practice with him on the team, so pretty much haven't been able to really go over any set plays. So having only one match next week, it's gonna really help us nail down all the plays we want to do. But obviously, that's just no excuse. I mean, we need to get comfortable fast, and pretty much just like you said, Ben, just trying to make sure everyone's comfortable in their roles, and then after that, you kind of see the individual plays come out later.
Yeah, I want to give a huge shout out to Scraps today, man. I thought he played unbelievable, and I know a lot of people want to see London step up, want to see your teammates Ace step up. Everybody's been looking for these guys. And Tank has looked spot on all series long. I want to go into the listening with you guys because it was a good listening. Let's tune in.
Be annoying, Nation. Just be annoying.
I'm coming, so I can up here on the spot.
I'm spawn blue. I'm going new. I'm going new.
I didn't hit him, bro.
Push me.
Nice.
One more down.
I don't see him.
Really weak.
One to the right.
One more dark.
Get in there.
I'm staring at dark right now.
It's Corey, right? I'm gonna go get
He's on dump. He's on dump ready.
Yeah, he's front door.
Dark as well. Dark.
Front door time. Gonna be safe.
Dark.
Big door down. Close right on you.
Okay, one jump.
One
I'll
shot,
go,
bro.
I'll go.
I'm just holding mid. I'm just holding mid.
He hasn't pushed out blue door.
He's behind the head.
Right, come on, work it. I'm playing big door pinch.
Here. I just want
One dark, one dark, one
I'm
dark.
gonna pinch this. They've got blue. I'm gonna pinch this.
One is dark.
I'm blocking blue then.
He could be useless, could be
I'm
useless.
blocking blue, he's in blue. I'm blocking blue.
He's not using corner. I'm nading main.
I died. Someone. Tunnel.
Give me big door,
You went back alley.
Mid alley
One back alley.
dead.
One back
He's
alley.
dead.
Back
Nice
alley.
job, I'm winning.
Coming, bro, I'm coming.
I don't see him time.
Spawn
They're
tunnel.
spawning out.
Not close left. Yo, he's killing him, Matty.
On time, 2 on time.
Nice.
One more in tin and maybe mid tin.
It's an absolute
One
dunning.
tin.
It's an
Yeah,
absolute
take your
dunning.
time. Just give him up time. Give him up time.
Be there.
Right, play
All right,
it,
rotate. Make sure we
guys.
rotate, guys. Fuck that
Yep,
25. We're up.
Alright,
We're up big right now.
Done
I'm
it,
gonna
yeah.
sit in blue, okay?
I want to outside. Yeah, one side,
One
jump
house.
in.
I'm spawning
Nice
house.
job.
One side, jump in. We can
I
get
have
my tunnel.
tunnel, I have tunnel, I have
I
tunnel.
don't see him, Matt. I just done him.
I'll get my tunnel on. Have you got my head, John?
Yo, one tunnel,
Yeah, I can only
tunnel.
jiggle it. I have a sub, Matt.
We got P4 and one got it.
Two tunnel me. I got one.
One's blue, one's P4, one blue, one P4, one blue. There's two alleys. One more, guys.
And it's good listening for the Rural Ravens. They sounded, you guys came out with a lot of energy today. You guys came out twisted. I'm happy you guys had that energy because, you know, it's good to get a win on the board. How does it feel just to get a dub on the board? Because it's been a rough few weeks for you guys.
No, yeah, it really has. I mean, honestly, we've lost 7 series in a row. You can say 8 counting the tiebreaker match, but
Yeah.
it just when you lose that many like in a row, it takes a toll on all of us really mentally. So
Yeah.
just coming out with a nothing to lose mindset and coming out just our whole motto today was just come out, compete, and just do it for like the reason why we do it, just strictly compete.
Yeah.
And I mean, it just showed. The passion really showed today.
Yeah, but you can see Scraps here on the second rotation. This is where he really kicked up. He
Yeah.
went on a big spree here. He got a streak. Granted, he did end up team killing with the streak, but then he ended up making up for it on the last couple of rotations. He was able to pick up some big 2 pieces. So huge shout out to Scraps. But Pat, Chris, what did you think about the first map here with London and Vegas?
Sorry, I was activating my mic, but I think you guys are getting a lot of production out of Paul pretty early on with him taking that break. Even the last series, granted, you guys didn't, win. Paul had a couple of big moments, so it's honestly just good to see him playing well with the limited practices you guys have. Even though you guys may not be the best team, I think you guys are definitely making steps in the right direction in terms of the making improvements on your guys' like map pool and the way you guys play. So.
Yeah, Pat, what do you
yeah.
think?
I mean, to me, I mean, Clay just got absolutely world starred this map. Like, no team's gonna win when Clay's doing that. But yeah, I mean, I think London has got better, but I mean, if they're slaying like this is very comfortable, and finally we're seeing what it looks like when ASIM gets a little help. Craps obviously had a massive series today, and we've kind of been waiting for somebody to step up on this London team, and it's good to finally see someone do that.
Yep. No, I know. It just seems like they were a little bit more coordinated today, and I feel like that's the biggest thing with you guys, Ace. Just like the decision making, like making use of the kills and just making the right decisions on the map, because the game becomes a lot easier when you're making the right decisions. So London, good plays here. He's actually tank here in the rotation. You can see the game got close here towards the end of this map 1, but Scraps with a big 2-piece on that rotation. That locks it down for London. They're able to win the first map. Take a look at the final scoreboard, 30-14 from Scraps. Really good map out of him. Any final thoughts on the first map, gentlemen, as we head into the map number 2?
No.
Not particularly, no. I mean, Clay just got absolutely world starred, and TJ Halley didn't have a particularly good map either.
Yeah, and then we get into the S&D, and honestly, Vegas, their S&D continues to shine. They are a really good search and destroy team.
They are nasty at search and
Really
destroy. I
good.
can tell you that. Just like playing them, they might be the most proactive / like team that doesn't give away their lives freely at all. And they're really, really like, I was just getting punished by their stuns and nades like this entire S&D. Like, this might be my best S&D map like as a whole, but against them, I just felt like they studied like my plays. I couldn't go anywhere in the map without getting stunned and naded. So like
Yeah.
these guys were really, really good at search. I think once they can figure out their respawns, like I saw a stat where they're like 4-0 this stage in S&D and like really bad in the other categories, but like their search is down pat for sure.
Aren't they like on an 11 or 12 like S&D map win streak or something like that? It's something like
we
don't
had
have
the
the stat on
record of
hand.
11 last year, so I don't feel like they're past it, but they might be close to it for sure.
I would have liked here in the 2v2 to maybe see Paul and Maddie like work together here. I think they just both try to make solo plays. I think Paul tried to go back alley here. he ends
Yeah,
up getting
right
taken
here
out.
we were hearing the guys were back alley, but they were on bomb, so it was just a read on the sound horn.
Yeah, that's
The loudness EQ was a little too strong.
Yeah, sometimes it messes me up.
Yeah, no, it was Vegas that just went up early. I mean, they played really aggressive in the searches. This was around where London was finally able to win one, and this was just an ankle break round for you guys, Jason. You guys were just going right to left, right to left. Vegas didn't really know what to do. We were confused watching it. We were like, what was y'all's plan here? You know, like, was this your plan to just kind of just like run back and forth, kind of scatter them a little bit?
It was just kind of on the fly thing, and it was like what Haggy just said, like the sound horn thing. Like once you hear one guy at B, you're like, you know what, fuck it, let's just go to the other side.
Yeah.
That's what we did.
Yeah, no, 100%. And then we get into the 4-1 round. This is where Nasty took out this little spot.
Bombarded with tax too.
Yeah, you get bombarded with tax. Clay's in a little off angle, but look at Nasty. He gets through the middle of the map, able to make a little bit of a play. Like the routes coming out of him. He ends up finding another one here, Elwall. So good job out of Nasty there. Find a little gap, but this is kind of where TJ and the Vegas boys continue to shine. TJ has been unbelievable for them in search. He's been like their go-to S&D guy. And TJ, I feel like he's just been that S&D guy for a long time, man. I mean, he's really good at this game mode. He definitely has his timings on point right now. So gonna be looking out for TJ. But any final thoughts on the map too, Ben, Pat? I know it's
I got one.
Chris. I know it's been a long day.
I got one. It's when we go to the last round, Tom. Bang!
You want to go to the last round? You want to check out the last round? Let's check it out. Paul jumps off the map. What happened here? I feel like at this point, you just have to laugh it off. You just have to laugh it off.
We just laughed it off, to be honest. There was no big deal for us. We just
So-
were like, all right, go next. It's
So
all good.
Paul by himself up top. He's able to find one. He tries to hit a little dolphin dive cheese out the window, and somehow he just like bumps into the side of the window and gets bumped off the map. So
And then wait, if you pause it right when he's like out, we're like, he thought it was over. We're like, dude, no, there's still a chance of you getting out, like through that back alleyway, but there was no time.
nah, but bro, I tested it like even just diving out, and it's like, bro, it goes down quick that time. Like it goes down really fast.
Well, he also tries to switch to like. Here's the problem: is he switches guns and he has a sniper and not a knife. If he had a knife, he probably actually speeds up.
Yeah,
instead.
maybe, yeah,
Maybe.
It's
Look,
called-
look at his
could've
body
been?
outside the map.
Could've been.
Yeah, they pan on his body to get like a 360 view of him just laying down outside the map. TJ Haley, 11-4. What a fantastic map coming out of him. Any final thoughts, gentlemen, before we head into the next one? The hotel control.
Now people got to start watching this Vegas team in S&D because they're getting away with highway robbery every single search. It's not like, I mean, these guys are really good at the game mode regardless, but like for somebody's got to be studying their plays or something because they can't be allowed to win this many searches in a row.
Nah, but
It's criminal.
But hey, it's always on a different map though, which is also typical as hell.
Yeah,
Like, it's just the
yeah.
mode in general.
They're good
like,
at every map.
They were 1-1 going into that Mercado search. Now they're 2-1 on it. So it's like, and that was their least played map.
Well, they've
so,
won 10 out of last 12 S&Ds and on a 7-win streak in search, tied 5th most all time.
Well, they are 6-0 in Fortress, so everyone keeps letting them have Fortress, which I think is a problem.
Yeah, but
Gotcha.
if you take Fortress out, then they're gonna play a CeeLo, which are like 4-1, right?
Yeah, but like, bro, they're 6-0 in Fortress. Why would you ever play someone on that? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, how did that get that big?
But that speaks towards, again, they're good at all the S&E maps. Win record aside in league matches, ASIM like they're really good at all the maps.
Oh, at the moment, yeah.
Wait,
They're
6-0?
incredible at the
6-0? They have hella VOD. Yo, go back and watch a damn VOD. Counter them.
Yeah,
I know
mean,
it's easier said than done, but I mean,
It is easier said than
come on.
done, but I mean, I'm sure people are going to be watching. In Vegas, I feel like that's what makes them so good. It's not so much their strats; it's more their just situational play, like how
it's
they
their mid-round adjustments.
It's like
and
their
stuff. That's how
mid-round
they do it.
adjustments and their situations. They're just good S&D team. Like they're
Yeah.
clicking right now. Like they're really good at listening to each other and just making plays off the fly. But let's get to the next one. We get into a hotel control. First round, London was able to hold on to the 8-point. So big defensive round out of them. And then Asim, I love the stacks out of you guys in the offense. I feel like you guys are doing a good job just getting on those points and just being a nuisance. You can see how you guys were able to kind of get onto this B point. Starts with a little bit of a long route coming in from Nasty. I like how he kind of got himself back here and was just kind of being annoying with that sub with the Vaznev. That kind of forces Vegas to have to kind of look for him. They got some guys isolated bed. You guys just trying to really put some pressure down through front bedroom. You were able to work some stacks and go up 2-0 in control. What you guys have been working on, Asim, in control? What are you guys been focusing on?
We feel like our offenses are really good in hotel control, but our defenses are really slacking, especially on breaks and stuff. So, just making sure we're we're getting that constant flow, especially in control. Because this hotel control map, I think, might be the most important map/mode like all year long. It's just kind of like that Tuscan control where every team is gonna play Tuscan control and every team's gonna play hotel control. So everyone needs we need to be good at the map, you know?
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think it was big that you guys were able to take an offense to go up 2-0 because usually that's all you need. And to go into this 1-2 round, I think ProLoop might have made a little mistake here towards the end. I was watch partying with Scrap. And Asim, you could probably talk about this a little bit, but here at the end of this game, Byron, he was Kitchen here. He was pushed out Kitchen, but he ends up running back out of Kitchen, ends up pushing top Cat here, and that kind of causes you guys to spawn close. That causes number 5, Paul, to spawn close. I think the play here, right, like if teams are trying to push teams back into that spawn trap and kind of defend this 8-point, the main thing is to push out Kitchen. So you're spawning teams deep. Maybe a little bit of a mishap there from ProLoop. What do you guys think? Ben, Pat, Chris?
Yeah, definitely not. Oh, sorry, I just didn't know if my mic was muted. Definitely not an ideal play out of ProLoop, but at the same time, I think Vegas's control is just really poor. I don't think they've improved on it since we last talked about it. That was like the thorn in their side. They were always able to win their searches consistently. Their hardpoint was kind of 50-50, but their controls have been really abysmal in the last 2 stages. So, I mean, more of that as to why they're making those mistakes.
All the stages, they haven't been good at control.
Oh yeah, the last 2 stages.
I mean, we were watching the team scrim in the beginning of the game when they were, streaming their scrims for quote TwitchCon. Like they were struggling to control. But they were calling it, and they haven't really gotten a handle on the game mode since the beginning. So I think for this team, one that really struggles in respawns, just like Florida, yeah, you can be a good elite S&D squad, but you got to figure out how to get more wins in these respawns to make it deeper in these tournaments.
Yep, good map from Maddie, good map from Paul. Any final thoughts on the map before we head into the last map, which ended up being a Hydro hardpoint? Any final thoughts, gentlemen?
I mean, they just got to get better at control because as you see here with the next map, like if they can't snag a respawn and they're not going to be winning their hard points or their controls, like it doesn't matter how good these guys are at search. Like they gotta get what?
Team's got to blow it up.
Who's got to blow it up?
Vegas. I don't even know.
You think so?
I don't even know if they got to blow it up as much as like, they got to get Temp off this roster. Like because he's the only one that can go positive in a respawn. Like, getting bad.
Why would you take him off the roster?
That's online though.
Because there's no saving this team, Tom. I want to save Don's career because there's no saving this team.
I'm gonna say these guys did play better on LAN. We came back to the online stage. We see their S&D still consistently good, but their respawns is slate heavy mode. Like these guys don't have a facility. They have a bad split. They're probably not getting ideal servers. Someone's always getting screwed. So they're probably just not having a good time in the respawns. And I think,
but Chris, you think this team is going to be a team that just loses every match online and somehow pulls out enough consistent placings at the 5 majors to qualify for champs? I don't.
I mean, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that until there's maybe another major. If these guys can pull out another good placement at a major, then maybe we can't start saying
they go
that.
get 8. It's not going to help if they're 0-5.
They placed top 6 or 8.
They got 6.
And you can get like
they top 6.
The way this format plays out, like if you can get 2 or 3 wins a stage online, like you can get away with a couple like dead last placings. You'll still have enough points to qualify for champs. Obviously, they probably don't want to be the 8th seed.
I don't think they can get those online wins though.
I'm gonna be honest though, if they do get another top 6 or better, like somebody's got to get these guys a facility, man. Like these guys are being held back clearly.
Like I am confused though. I am confused here. So the problem is that Siege and ProLoot just can't move to Texas and split an apartment together.
I mean, they probably.
I understand it should be the org's responsibility, but like, I mean, bro, I've lived in Texas multiple times. Not for a team. It's not the most costly place to live.
Yeah, I move around for challengers. And
I feel like them getting a 2-bed. I feel like it's just something they don't want to do. Like, I don't know. It's not that.
No,
it's not that hard to get a 2-bedroom apartment, bro.
Like, it's actually a good point.
This is kind of where.
How bad do they want it? How bad do they want it, chat?
This is kind of where they fell apart. I mean, I guess how bad do they want it? I mean, I agree with you guys. If they could make their way to Texas, they could move there if they really wanted to.
We used to do this shit before, like we had orgs like this. Like it was the same shit, bro.
Wait. I know I'm not in the pro league or anything, but I do it for challengers. I literally moved to Texas for challengers. I did it multiple times. Like, these guys are in the pro league. They're probably making more money than I am. They can move if they really wanted to.
Yeah, I guess
know
it
it's not
really
ideal.
comes
They
down to
probably
them,
miss
you know?
their parents, but it comes down to them.
And there we go. You can kind of see how London was able to win this one. Very back and forth game, but they were able to break that P4 and then kind of chain this P5 hard point. And you can really lock down a lot of time on Hydra on some of these hills, because if you start getting some kills and getting pushed out, you can really pin teams back. And you can kind of see how London was able to do this. This is big plays from Nasty. See Scraps continuing to fry, 26 and 16. This is a big two-piece from Nasty here at the end of this game. To just kind of clean wipe the Vegas Legion. And you see the back spawns come in, but London finally able to get a W today. Any final thoughts on these rosters? Any final thoughts before we move on to the next series, gentlemen?
I mean, for this Vegas team, Clay just can't have another one of these series if this team ever wants to be able to compete. I don't think he will, but I mean, he had a massively off series today that we haven't seen in a while yet, like a neg 40 series, while Scrap had the opposite. So for me, definitely looking for a Clay bounce back, because with their split, like, they got to get every match when they can online. So yeah, so I just think.
Hold on, chat is faded. People are saying if they were getting paid the league minimum, and two of them are getting paid the league minimum, you're telling me that 100K put together in a salary isn't enough for two people to live in fucking Texas?
I mean, bro. Even though, listen, they can probably afford it, but I mean, like, dude, it really does come down to the organization to fucking get these guys a place to.
Well, yeah,
to
no
stay.
shit.
Right, but they're not gonna. But the
thing is, they should know that that's not gonna happen.
And they're also probably the lowest paid in the league too. They're the lowest paid team in the league.
But at this point, I mean, like, I feel like when you play for Paris, bro, you're playing on like your last leg of your career almost. Like, no bullshit. That's how I feel when I look at this team. Like, I feel like this is the org where it's like you had no other opportunities at all. This is the last leg of the chance. Like, if you want to stay in the league, then yeah, what is a 6-month lease? Like, you can probably get a 6 to 8 month lease in Texas, split it between the two of them. Maybe it costs them $7,000 over the next $7 to $8,000 each over the next 6 months. 5-6 months, and they have an opportunity to succeed and prolong their opportunity to be a pro COD player. I don't see how that's that big of a deal. I mean, like, yeah, they might not be in the best situation this year, but I know, I mean, at least for Tej, like, Tej has done very well across the last 8 years of his COD career. So I mean, I think it's a really low lift thing.
Wait, real quick,
and I think it's just a little bit of laziness.
Ben, what are Vegas in the standings?
They're like 11th, I think.
Overall standings in CDO right now?
Yeah,
they're 11th.
No, Vegas is
no, they're not.
Now? There's no way.
Are they? Unless they just went down by a lot.
They got top 6. Oh, they are in 11th. They have 40.
Wow.
Why do we say no? They're not when I'm
because they
looking at
just
the website.
listen. They placed top 6.
I'm literally staring at the website. Yo, they're 11th.
Okay.
But hold on. We need a caveat.
No, they're not.
We need a caveat that they're in a 4-way tie between teams from 8th to 11th.
Okay, so they're in a tie situation.
And I don't know if this is sorting for tiebreakers, because some of the CDO websites a little.
I mean, some people in the chat are bringing up
no,
good
it's
points.
sorted by win percentage, and they're by far 11th. Like,
some of the people in the chat are bringing up good points. They're saying like, what if like one of them gets dropped? Let's say Tej and Prelude both move, but I don't know. I just think if then
whoever the person they pick up moves into that fucking other room and take over that lease.
Take over the lease.
It's a 6 to 8 month lease. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, you can easily do a 6-month lease. So that's, bro, it's so cheap.
Yeah, I've done one in Dallas before when I was on New York.
There's no shot.
All right, let's move on to the next one. We got the Los Angeles Guerrillas going up against the Minnesota Rokkr. There was some technical difficulties halfway through this series, so we'll do the best we can, or I'll do the best I can to show some highlights. But I believe the last map wasn't even shown on stream. Nobody even seen what happened on the last map of this one, but we got a Hydro, Hardpoint, Fortress S&D, Hotel Control, Fortress, Hardpoint, Mercado, Search and Destroy. Gentlemen, anything on the vetoes that caught your eye?
Hotel, Sila from. I mean, it's just hard to know for Rokkr, like, especially in the S&Ds and the controls, what their good maps are. I mean, they look like they're apparently godlike in every hardpoint map right now. They're just
Yeah, Haggy. I guess it might not just be Embassy hardpoint, Haggy. It might just be all the hardpoints that LG got
Well,
like that.
outside of Hydro, I just know they're like big. Their big map pool is Embassy, Mercado, and Fortress. So they're good at Hydro, I guess, as well. But I mean, the Fortress that they picked in the videos, I was actually kind of like surprised they played them on it because Rokkr is also very good at hardpoint. But they said, "Fuck it, let's square up," and they do end up winning that one, which we couldn't even see on stream.
Well, I mean, I apparently that fourth map, by the way, Chris, like LAG went up massive. They were up by like 100 plus points at one point in the beginning. So, I mean, either way, this LAG team, I mean, definitely like a kind of a fun squad. Like they're just so nasty at hardpoint. I think the other game modes are still a work in progress, but I really got a tip like them kind of landing on this team in this situation. I know Diamond Con got kind of screwed with them calling up 3 of the academy players and sticking them with Alec, but they've been grinding out these series. They look good and getting ahead in hardpoint. Like I don't know how well it's going to translate to land, but they've at least stabilized this team for now. So you got to give them some credit for that.
I mean, outside of when they played in the Pro-Am, outside of the Seattle series, I'm pretty sure they won like all the hard points they played against the pro teams, and that was back. I could be wrong, but I just know they beat Faze on 2 of them. And like these guys are gross at hard point. Diamond Con, Arcides, doesn't matter. These guys clearly have a system that they obviously all buy into, and these guys are showing why they deserve to be in the league, dude.
Yeah, no, they're a good team, and Arcides especially really showed out. He started off 12-1. Granted, they were losing at the time, but he just kept it going the whole map long. He was a difference maker towards the end of this one. But I definitely think, Chris, the new sub duo, I like it. I like the Joda Season Exceed sub duo. I think they're definitely showing people what they can do. I know a lot of people want to see Exceed get in there. And I know a lot of pros have gassed up Joda Seas. A lot of people have said, a lot of pro players have been gassing this guy up. So to see them finding success here in the first map hardpoint, it was good to see. It was going into the second rotation where LAG was able to get some pretty big chains here. It actually starts here in the second P1. They rotate, they get some big holds. The only player trying to come in behind them was attached, but he ends up getting taken down by Exceed here. So LAG, they were able to lock down a lot of time on his P1 and rotate over to P2 and really extend this lead and change some hills together. But Pat, what do you think about this LAG roster?
I think it's solid. I mean, I know everyone was like, Diamond Con was the best one on the team or whatever, but I mean, I think no matter how you shape it, I think Alec replacing Diamond Con is probably objectively an upgrade. And so I think this team, the kind of the formula that they're running with, I do think works. They're 6-0 in this stage in hardpoint. They obviously had success when they were in the challengers at Raleigh in hardpoint. And so, yeah, I think no one's really caught on to their style just yet. And I think it's working for them. I am curious to see how this team does at LAN with these guys finally being back in the pro league, to see if they show out on LAN the same way. But yeah, I mean, the one thing I want to say is we were gassing up Rokkr yesterday. They beat Faze. These guys suck.
I don't know what happened to them today,
I don't know.
These guys suck.
It makes no sense how they look so good one day and then just kind of, I don't know. They just don't look the same. They just look like a different team.
I have a representation of exactly what it is.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
I mean, bro, they are
too so, man.
We talk about the Faze series. They won. They were good in the beginning of that series, like the first couple of maps, and then this one, they were a clunker in the first 2 maps. So I don't think they made any progress on the starting slow issue. That might be their biggest issue, because on the back end of the series, other than whatever the half happened in the map 4 day, which we didn't see, going down and having like a 30 or 41% on map 1 and map 2 is like not going to cut it.
This is where our cities went crazy, by the way.
Yeah, I just don't know what they're doing in the beginning of series. Alec was going insane this series.
I mean, this break right here was all him. I mean, this is where Minnesota could potentially bring it back. They try and get over to that hard point, and you can see Alec, he uses his streak. He's able to find 2 with his streak, and then he pushes along the backside, finds another 2, just completely wipes the whole team by himself.
I'm telling you, you got to think about it. You got to think. The day before they 3-0 Faze, I called them out, and I said I was going to order something because they're going to get 3-0 so fast. They come out, different team. Today, I don't say anything yesterday on the show about them, and they come out and get world starred. Like, you got to think. You got to think, Tom.
Pat, you're a motivator, Pat. You're a motivator. It's what you are.
Well, I think Alec in the chat chirping you a little bit here, but do your thing, I guess.
What do you say? What did Alex say?
what do
He
you
said you
mean?
gotta think. Fuck Pat, bro, is what is pinned at the top of the chat right now.
What you gotta think is LAG made the worst roster I've ever seen in the offseason, and they had to drop all of them and sign their challenger team. You gotta think that. And how bad that decision making was in the offseason. And if I was there, how much better it would have been. But anyway.
The last time you were there, it didn't go that good, but it's all good, man.
Wait, I know that, like, obviously Rokkr didn't play well this series, but you also got to give it to LAG. Like,
yeah, you do.
For all we
Real
know,
good.
we can see them come out next week, and I think they play Faze and beat Faze too, and like that. Then the conversations. Of,
I mean, LAG hasn't lost. They haven't lost a hard point.
They haven't lost a hard point. I'm
They haven't
just
lost a hard
saying,
point
like,
yet.
6-0.
we haven't seen too much of them, right? But obviously, as next week, I think they have 2 matches next week. We're going to see even more of them play. Like, these guys can very well come out and literally go undefeated with their new team. It's not undefeated, but undefeated after that Florida loss, right? The NYSL. But these guys can very well come out and be a team like Faze, and then we wouldn't be having this conversation. Oh, Rokkr started slow. No, LAG is just a fucking good ass team, and these guys are playing really well. So, I mean, Rokkr, yeah, sure, they definitely need to start playing better, but they're going up against a strong team, dude. These guys are no joke in hardpoint. I think their S&D definitely needs a little bit of work. Obviously, we saw them drop 2 of them to Florida, but they've been choking a couple of them. It's not like they're getting shit on in search. So this team right now, LAG, looks like a very balanced team in like multiple modes and dominant in hardpoint.
Yeah, and then to just talk about the S&D a little bit, unless anybody has anything to say about the map 1. Anybody got anything to say at all? Anything at all? Going once, going twice.
No, we can keep moving.
And let's keep it moving. Let's head over to the search and destroy. The 1-1 round. Really like the retake here from LAG. They actually did a couple retakes on this A site after this bomb goes down. And what do you think it is? I mean, Ben, we could go with you. I think LAG does a good job just focusing something, communicating and working with each other, like using their numbers. You can see Joe DeCease, he's able to find 1. You can see just the wall of purple just kind of storming through that left side of the map. They end up just breaking down Minnesota, 1 by 1. They kind of just fall apart after the bomb goes down. Just a really good retake from LAG. They did this a couple times this map, and I thought they were doing it pretty well. But what do you guys think?
They're amazing retakes, Tom, but they're isolating the Rokkr players. The Rokkr players are literally all by themselves, not in tradable positions, no crossfires. They just get caught with their pants down, and they run into a wall of LAG. So, I mean, we've said it before. You just got to back up and play the building together, and they just all one by one get isolated by the LAG players.
They did get Joe DeCease did find a pick at that point when the bomb goes down. Try and stay up, try and stay alive, work with a teammate, or just kind of play a corner. Let them come to you. Don't try and make a play. And then they bounce back. Minnesota wins a really quick round here on the defense. LAG tried to do some crazy shit. I don't know what they tried to do. That maybe Alec can explain that one. They just tried to jump out the windows and hit mid, and that one did not work out for them at all. And then we go into the 2-2 round. This is where Afro makes a great heads-up play. He's alone on this bomb site. He's able to find 1 to the wall, turns around, gets really nice shots onto Exceed, and then Benjamin Bance comes in on the flank. He's able to find 2. They end up going up, but then this is kind of where LAG, they start doing what they have to do. A little bit of a 2v4 here from Minnesota, a little bit of a troll here. This is probably a round that you want to win if you're in Minnesota. We can take a look at it and kind of see what the hell went wrong. But Afro, he's going to find 2 kills. He gets instantly traded out. I'm not sure what the heck happened here. I think Bance maybe gets a little too aggressive here. It's instantly made into a 2v2.
They had no idea it was the guy Rails, I think, and that's why Ben probably took the chow thinking there's probably 1 guy, but I don't think they realized that there were 2 people in the middle. Watch this. Like I think if he knew there were 2 middle, he probably plays a little bit differently. Like they never saw the guy Rails, and the guy flies in from middle, and they double chow this.
Yeah, they end up, Afro makes a really good play, but instantly, after a 2-piece, it's followed by a couple kills from Minnesota, and, it's a 2v2 situation. And you can see the plays from LAG. I like that they get aggressive, exceed challenges, Cammy mid-map, and then they spot attach here in the middle of the map. Instead of going for a bomb plan here, they just say, screw it, we got them pinned, play aggressive, and that's exactly what they did. And then we go into the 3-3 round. This was a big swing round for me. This was another retake from LAG. See, some trades go down, 3v3 situation, bomb goes down, but they just allowed Joe DeCease to go right through bottom middle and make a play. A lot of gaps can be found on this map. Chris, you play this map all the time. You can definitely maneuver around bottom R and get through and switch lanes because you can climb up multiple windows. You can make a bunch of plays.
Yeah,
that
of course. Because depending, most of the time, the way people approach this A bomb site is obviously one person is going to cross. He's going to be the planner. And usually you have another player that either crosses or just like sits back and watches as open. So as soon as a player crosses to the bomb, you kind of always have an idea that there's two people playing the site, the guy planning, the guy watching over him, which obviously now there's 3 lanes. You can hit the top of the building. You can hit P1. You can hit bottom art. So there's 3 lanes with 2 other players on the other team that have to watch. So one of them is always going to be like open every single time. So I mean, LAG's taking advantage of that.
Yeah, you can see the 2-piece snipe coming in from Exceed. Love seeing Exceed with a sniper. We don't see we haven't seen Exceed too much with the snipe. So to see him whip out the snipe and find some 2 really nice shots, I think it's cool to see. I see Exceed getting mixy with it. So good 2-piece out of him. Really good shots. Pinpoint accuracy. That's gonna send LAG up 5-3. I think Minnesota was able to bring it back, but going into the 5-4 round is where LAG was able to close it out. And it comes from a big 2-piece from Assault. This is your guy here, Pat. Assault. He's been playing pretty well since coming back into the season. Since coming back into the league.
he's just a reliable player. Honestly, I mean, like I think he'll have like some moments where he can have a superstar performance. But I think the biggest thing that I liked about Adam when I was teaming with him is he's just reliable. Like you know what you're gonna get at him. He's for the most part very consistent. And I think someone like this is a perfect fit for this team. I don't personally. I mean, I think after that Cold War season, I think they probably could have kept him on. But yeah.
Yeah, you can see here really good plays out of Assault. Gonna jump off those rails, finds 2. Then I love the route from him as well. The reroute, he's gonna go all the way around through front. And it just looks like Arcides. He's gonna take down 1, ends up taking down the 2nd as well. I think Bance trying to get the kill, but with the time in favor of LAG. Alec does a good job staying down. They end up closing the map. Take a look at the scoreboard. 11-4 from Assault. It's a really, really good map out of him. Able to take LAG up 2-0 in this series. So, any final thoughts on the S&D, gentlemen?
No, but that's the 2nd series now that Bance was the best player on this Rokkr team. And for me, I don't want to see that at all. If I'm looking at this team and Bance is the best player on it, I feel like something's wrong.
Nah, I mean, I kind of agree. Obviously, there should be other slaying, but Ben being able to make plays is like super critical to this roster.
I'm not saying Ben should be ass, but I'm saying like the other stars need to step up. Where's Cammy? Where's Afro? Where's Dylan? Like these guys need to be the stars of this roster. Like if Bance is coming out every day and being the best player on the team, I don't see any success happening for Rokkr.
Not saying Bance can't do it, but Bance should not be the front man of your slaying power, your playmaking
every
ability.
series, yeah. When
you have Cammy and Dylan and Afro. So I mean, I could see what Pat's saying.
Let's go into the comms with the Minnesota Rokkr. Let's see how they were sounding in this control, because this was a map they were able to win.
Oh, it's beans. No, connector, it's connector. Connector, yeah, close.
Wait, one's connector, one's bridge.
Wine on me. Wine with a sub. He's on A1.
Yeah, I shouldn't have done that. He's P4 weak.
He's in wine. Joe deceives in wine.
I see him. Could have
On
been
A point, one's on A point. On A point, on A point. A point, staking, 1 shot. Nice. Stay sharp, stay sharp.
Push down, get some of his cancer.
Yeah. Wait, could it be from your spawn?
I spawned in kitchen.
Oh, you spawned in kitchen?
You're mid, okay. Fishery's big.
I'm trying to hold connect pinch though. They could go beans.
They're back step.
Big. That's one big now. Joey, push the dub.
I'm watching our side wine, Ben.
Yeah, watch out one. That's him.
Yeah, Joe got me.
And then you shot. Watch out, Ben.
One's broken, 2 broken dead.
Nice, let's go, cut right. Get the cross or something.
Yeah,
you can go big or do what. Let's go back.
One's 100%. Core.
Core can kill me.
Core heady Alec. Core heady Alec.
Kill me. Big now, big.
Nice. Alec is core heady, Dill.
One's big.
Alex core.
How many core?
Core dead.
One was big.
Yeah, okay. Where you go, Marcus?
That's gonna do it for the listener. How'd you guys sound? Or how do you guys think they sounded?
They sound good. I mean, did you hear Cam? I think Cam said stay sharp. I'm like, dude, this guy's giving out like military comms or something. It's like, stay sharp, boys. Stay frosty.
And then we get into the 2-1 round, and this is kind of where things fall down for the Los Angeles Guerrillas. And it starts with some body shots here from Arcides. He ends up, smoking Cammy here. No red dots, maybe no communication coming in from the Minnesota Rokkr. But we know what happens after you shoot bodies. You instantly get the bad luck, and somehow, some way after that, Minnesota Rokkr.
That must be new. That never happened to me.
It never happened to you. It didn't happen to me either, Pat. It didn't happen to me either, man.
That must be some CDL new cheese.
You should be careful because someone's gonna find receipts when it happened. And
They'll find some receipts. They'll
All
find
right,
something.
Go search. Go search. That never happened to me.
And you can see Minnesota.
There's the audience challenge right there before the next show.
Minnesota, they end up winning the round and taking this to an overtime, and then going into the overtime, Minnesota was actually able to win an offense here. And it starts with the Tatch. Tatch was going big here. He goes on an absolute spree. He's able to get some streaks, and Minnesota somehow able to get this beat point. It was just Dylan and Afro just getting pushed up, finding corners. You see Dylan on a 3-speed right now. He was able to keep this one going, and they were just able to work some stacks, just kind of forcing themselves through bedroom. It's actually pretty easy to get this point now. As long as you just get people on a point and stay down and just have people get some trophies down, it's pretty easy to get kills while being on the point. Chris, you could probably talk about that a little bit.
Just because about A point?
No, the B point. I feel like the B point, if you just get people stacked on a point and you have people looking over you, or you're just camping behind the boxes, the only place you can really die from is like mid-map or a pinch. If they try and like rush you from front, it's easy pickings if you're staying down and you have somebody looking over you.
People always overcomplicate this map, and it blows my mind because the way most people play it is they're gonna have a double or triple stack in bed, but like that obviously will always leave the flank or like the main arch or even the info desk open, where people can like sneak through and isolate certain players. And then once you isolate those players, just hop on the point, force those people out of bed to peek, and you can use that box to finesse really well and like cut lines of sight from away from those players' bed and make them kind of like tweak. I think people are starting to realize that, and they're getting a lot better at these attacking rounds.
And then we can take a look at the final scoreboard here in the fourth map. This is a tweet coming in from Arcides, from Alec, just kind of showing you everybody what happened in that last map, because we weren't able to watch, unfortunately. A lot of problems today with the bad weather, so it is what it is. The league did the best they could to deal with the situation. I
got a high res one for you, Tom.
Yeah, you got high res. You gotta zoom in. Okay.
Yeah. I put it in TS.
DM. Yeah, you can just put it in my chat, Pat. You put it in my chat. We're good to go. We'll get you guys up.
It's in the chat.
In the Zoom, in my screen chat. Yep, there it is. Boom. Beautiful, Pat. Beautiful. Let's take a look here. Yeah,
100 points?
Okay, yeah, see, this is a lot better, Pat. Thank you very much. This is beautiful.
Yeah, shout out my guy Turtle.
Vance had the most kills again.
Let's take a look at this.
Did Minnesota outslay them? And
they didn't. Minnesota definitely outslayed them, I think. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, they outslayed them.
It can happen on that map because there's just a whole bunch of like fugazi kills that you get from spawn traps.
But to lose 100?
Well, yeah, I'm just saying you can get a lot of fugazi kills because you get like a spawn trap on like the P3 side of the map. You kill them a couple times, they break out, they insta break you. Like you can get a lot of you can overslay on that map really hard, and it like doesn't mean shit. But I mean, it's just a testament to how good fucking LAG are, dude. Their map pool and hardpoint's nuts, and they got one of their stronger maps, and they squared up against Minnesota on one of their stronger maps and said fuck it and just beat them bad. 100 points.
I mean, Sandy in the chat is saying that that's insane. So his opinion, I guess, is that like I feel like Chris, there could be some fugazi.
I don't think it's that insane. No, it's not like they got outslayed by 3 million, bro. Like you can get a lot of fugazi kills and spawn traps.
Yeah, but to lose by 100 though, it's not like I thought what you're saying. They lost by like 20, yeah, but like 100.
Like two hills usually because you're not getting.
Like, what were they doing?
Yeah, I'm not really too sure what was going on there, but the Minnesota Rokkr, they get a big win against Faze. They end up losing today, and they're gonna have to try and figure out their consistency.
You mean against LAG, not Faze?
See, my chat.
I'm saying they got a win against Faze yesterday, and today they got a loss. So they're gonna have to try to figure out like some consistency.
Tom, the chat's not faded. They literally outslayed by like 2 kills. Like it wasn't that bad.
No, it's not. Yeah, no,
by 100.
Well, speaking of outslaying, I think we should move on and talk about this absolute world star map that New York had. First one against Faze.
Yeah, we can talk about it.
I was gonna say that was LAG's first time ever beating Rokkr franchise history.
Yeah, they were 0-7, right?
They were.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then they are now out of it.
And it's actually crazy to me too that LAG hasn't lost a hard point yet. I think that's pretty typical, if you ask me.
Who have they played so far? They played obviously Rokkr. Yesterday they played who?
LAG's played what? Thieves and then someone else, right?
Yeah, Thieves was sub, Rokkr, and who else?
They play Florida?
Florida. Yeah, they lost.
Florida.
Nesload.
I mean, look, they're 6-0, but they haven't had like a true test yet. I think they're good. Don't get me wrong, but like until they play the Phases, the Ultras, the New Yorks, yeah. I knew there was some fugazi there.
Still typical though.
Speaking of Faze, let's talk about this series that we have to watch with no casters, no production again.
No casters, no production. We were doing a lot of the casting, Ben.
We were casting, me, you, and Miles, tri-cast, having fun. Unfortunately, you were giggling, throwing me off.
It was very. Miles just makes me giggle, bro. He's a very trolly person. He was just making me laugh.
Making me lose composure, but yeah, I mean, this is a weird series. Probably one of the weirdest series of COD I've watched in a long time. It started with a map 1 in which New York was running absolute circles around Faze. Absolutely smoked them from start to finish in this map.
Yeah, it just seemed like Faze had a hard time holding. New York subliners, they were just all over the map. Priesta had an insane map 1. He's been so good for New York. He's been unbelievable. And I think it's cool too, because I know, a lot of people were on Preston's ass like the last couple years, so to see Priesta get to like that consistent form where he's hitting his ceiling like at a high level consistently. I mean, it's cool to see. It's cool to see P Dog doing his thing.
Rightfully so, though. He was sucking the last few years.
I mean, he wasn't okay. I wouldn't say he was sucking, but I mean,
he was sucking.
He wasn't playing he wasn't doing P Dog things. That's for
he was
sure.
Getting smoked on Rokkr, bro. Like prior, like even in Cold War, when they started playing good, he started playing well, and that's when they started actually getting their placements. But outside of that, he was getting
and that's
smoked.
why it's so important to have the right group of players around you. To have the right system. Players shine in different systems. But Ben, what did you think was the main problem in this map 1 for Faze? For me, it was just maybe the slang, and they were having a hard time getting some locking down some time.
I think all 4 players on the map just like seem a little bit too slow. They're trying to play like super by the book and super rigid, and literally I'm watching New York just like run circles around them with subs and shoot people in the back because they're just hitting routes going rogue. So I think for Faze, like one thing they need to work on going into next week, and they're going to play some good teams next week in Hardpoint, is just I think playing a little bit more loose in the mode.
I'm gonna be honest, their setups suck. They just keep letting New York find the gap and just run at them, isolate a player, pick them apart, and that's like what New York is good at. They don't scam. They don't usually just give away kills. These guys need to just get in the. They need to get in the lab and get some actual setups on some of these hills and start funneling teams. Because every time you watch New York, these guys are literally spreading the map, picking these people apart, collapsing on hill. And they just Faze is just let them run at them.
And also Hydra's just disgusting. I mean, this guy Paco's always making plays. He's 24 and 15. He ends up popping a 3-piece in this hill as well. Just glides through the hill, finds 3 and completely breaks Faze's setup. And this is a money hill as well. Like this kitchen hill, you can really lock down. So this really good plays from Paco. He pops 3 in a rotation. Kill feed is all white. You can see Faze. They just really struggled to hold and get any time. I really like the route here from P Dog. He ends up getting 1 on the roto. He kind of gets by to the back. I don't think Faze saw him on a cross. And that's just him being quick, right? That instant decision-making, not hesitating. He's able to get across before they even see him. And he's able to pop 2 on this rotation. That kind of disrupts the hold again. And just like that, New York subliners, they win the first map. They go absolutely crazy. Let's take a look at the final scoreboard. Paco, 28 and 17, 29 and 17 from Priesta. Everybody doing what they got to do. The Bulldogs, Skies, and then on the other side, Simp had a rough map. Don't see that too often with Simp, but he had a little bit of a rough one.
He had a slow start in every single respawn map they played in the series.
Yeah, rough start for Simp. Any final thoughts on a map 1, gentlemen, before we head into the S&D?
No, not at all.
Also, what did Slasher tweet, Ben? What did he tweet? Everybody's saying
the game sucks. That's what he tweeted.
He tweeted a lot about the game, and we'll get to it after this series. But this was probably the weirdest Fortress S&D we've watched all year. There were like 3 B bomb plants. There was less squaring up middle to begin. Like you and I have been obviously talking a lot in the watch parties. You've been waiting for people to just kind of have confidence, just go B, and take the challenge, and just that the P3 setups P3 setups that people have on this map are pretty good, and just kind of use that knowledge that you have. And I'm glad to see that some teams pulled the trigger on that. Obviously, as the map moved on, do more to A setups, but just an overall weird Fortress S&D, man.
And take a look at this round from Faze. It's a Tiny Terrorist trying to clutch it up. A BZ left by himself, but good plays coming out of New York. This is actually a pretty back and forth S&D map. But Ben, this was the one where we were casting. We were getting pretty trolly in this one with no casters. But Pat, Chris, what do you think about Atlanta Faze and their S&D? They're actually able to hit New York with the NYSL today, the 2-3-5. That's how Atlanta Faze was able to win this series. What do you guys think about that?
They've been getting a lot more comfortable, like making plays on the map outside. Like, I don't know, I feel like before they weren't as loose, and now they're kind of like finding these gaps, kind of like how LAG was doing against Rokkr. They just like keep putting the pressure on New York, and they're just not letting New York play the game. Like they're taking control of it.
I just think it speaks to how good this Faze team is. Like, if they're able to think about this, let's say New York is arguably the best hardpoint team in the game right now, right? Let's leave LAG out the convo. Let's assume New York's the best. If they're able to NYSL New York, right? Like the team that just won the last event, a top 3 team for sure. Like, I think it just kind of it speaks to how consistent and how well-rounded this Faze roster is. Like I said, Tom, I'm still thinking it. I've been thinking it. I think this major 2 is going to be Atlanta Fazes.
Yeah, you can see a big round from Abizi here with a little 3-piece from the Scar. But go ahead, Ben. Just want to show him a little highlight.
Austin, look, I think they're slumping a bit in hardpoint right now, but I think that you can get hot in that game mode. But what's been really consistent so far is their execution S&D, the way they play situationals. And I think they're getting back to the bread and butters they had in like the earlier days of their team, where they were really good at like winning 3v4s, 2v4 situations. They won a couple of those on this map and a couple of them on Embassy, and their just ability to make plays in those situations when they're playing top teams, I think might be their difference potentially going to this LAN.
Yeah, good plays coming out of New York. They end up hitting that B rush that Benjay was talking about. And we're all tied up at 3 in this one. Like the plays from Faze, tied up to get aggressive in their art. And they try and make a play, but they go over towards the defense. And let's see what they were able to do here. I see a lot of teams now slow playing on Fortress offense. They just wait. They're trying to get picks. Trying to get information, maybe. I still like the rush plans, but you definitely got to switch up the pace a little bit. Can't do the same thing every round. You can see last one up is going to be Skies. Faze winning a pretty comfortable defense here. And then I think New York was able to push it one more round before Faze ultimately was able to close it out. In a 2v2, it's Celium and Abizi going up against Priesta and Kismet. They're able to get this A-bomb down. And then obviously they, it was the New York subliners, Kismet and P-Dog. They're able to clutch up. Really good plays out of them. And then we go into the last round. This is where Faze was able to close it out. It was the defense for them. Simp, what a really big win in the middle of the map. You can see Kismet. I think he hears them under him. He's probably bumping that headset. And Simp, just with the good heads-up play, looks up and catches Kismet on that angle. He ends up shotgunning him with that Vaznev. So really good plays coming out of Simp. And then you can see Simp again. They end up getting aggressive here. I like how Faze get the first blood, and instead of just kind of sitting back and waiting for the play, they say, hey, we got the numbers. Let's pounce and let's make a play here. And that's exactly what they did. They hit out through A. Simp with another blood, and just like that, it's a 4v2 situation. Atlanta Faze win the map. 11-5 from Abizi, 10-6 from Simp. This is what you want to see out of the Terrors, man. They're playing good S&D, man. They're playing good COD. Any final thoughts on the S&D, gentlemen?
More the Abizi first blood. I'm gonna run the bathroom quick. More the Abizi first blood or get blooded. I'm curious your thoughts, Pat.
Oh, I was going to speak to that. I was going to call out that on Fortress S&D, the bomb has been planted B site 11 times. 5 of those 11 times has all been New York. So that's interesting. That New York likes to go to that B site.
Very interesting, Pat. Good stat.
They like going to the B site, and it works. We were talking about it in the beginning of the year. The B site always looks open, and at most there's like one guy there. So to see teams now, they're probably watching film and realizing that they're just starting to get a little bit more aggro there, and maybe there's gonna be some mind games on that map now. I just like that it's not so one-dimensional anymore, and teams are starting to switch it up. Then we get into the control. Things get interesting here. Faze, they end up going down here in the control because they just can't get a kill. New York, they end up going up here 2-0, and take a look at the scoreboard. Slashers 4-14 at this time, 7-8 from MC, 10-15 from Simp. Everybody from the New York subliners either even or positive, but they just flipped the switch, man. I don't know what it was, but I mean, Pat, Chris, Atlanta Faze, they have the power to just kind of turn things around and just start slaying. And I think Scrap was talking about it a little bit in the watch party from Toronto Ultra, but sometimes you just need to like regroup and get your like timings back on a map. Like get back into the rhythm. Like you have to, if you're in a blender, like slow down and just focus on getting a kill so you can get back into like the rhythm of the game. Do you guys agree with that? Because I actually do agree with that. I think getting back into rhythm is like very important if you're struggling and having a bad map.
Reset. I usually just call it resetting. Like you got to be able to find like a time to reset and kind of just get your get your bearings and just like really focus on what you need to do, because sometimes the game, the pace of the game, especially in like hard point at least, it can get very fast and hectic, and some teams will never slow down, and it just by the time they realize it, then the map's over. So I mean, good stuff out of Faze to kind of like realize what they were doing wrong. I think Slasher and Simp were having a really rough game at this point, and they completely turn around, which leads to the comeback. So,
dude, Austin was winning like every gunfight middle map from this round on. Like he was really struggling, and then on this, and when they were holding B solo, like he was winning all of those 101s and making it very difficult for New York to either cross on offense or on defense slide across and get in the top bed. So I gotta give tips to that.
Yeah, good plays by Faze to kind of just put a lot of pressure through bedroom to the front. Get those stacks, kind of forces New York to kind of rush out of their positions. They end up getting pinned back. Then we go into the defense. New York get A pretty quick, but it was Faze the whole round where they were just able to hold on strong. They're just holding the head glitches double deaths. They get kills. They get pushed out bedroom. They do a good job just, being annoying, especially a Beezy and simping them. I mean, they continue to fry. A Beezy 28 and 19. Abe has been really good for Atlanta Faze, man. He's been really showing out for them. I definitely think he's like a key person to this team just because of how aggressive he plays. He makes everybody else's job a lot easier when you have an entry fragger like that going double positive. But good job. Go ahead, Ben.
Tom, he last season, I think he admitted it wasn't his best season and struggled, especially in search and destroy. I think this season he's probably been the best player in search, and in respawn, I agree with you. When he's doing his thing, it opens up opportunities for players like Simp to make those plays because pressure's elsewhere on the map. He's able to find those gaps, get behind people, make those dead silence plays.
What do you think about this? New York subliners here, and Chris and Pat, I want to get your thoughts on this. They end up stacking A, but they get kills while stacking A, and I guess because they got kills, they thought it was a good opportunity to just chalk it and just try and make a play towards B. Do you like that play, or do you think you should just capitalize on the 8 point, get the extra time, and then, try and make a play towards B after that?
I've seen a lot of teams do it this weekend, and I didn't see anyone really do it successfully. We saw Toronto do it the opposite way. Like not Toronto. I think it was that Rokkr match to prior where they actually did the B to A kind of transition. But Chris, I'm curious your thoughts on just like winning the break off and then just getting off A and trying to push B.
I don't think it's necessarily a bad play. I just think they didn't take a good route to it. Like, if they're going to get these kills and they know all of these players are off spawn, they're going to be spawning towards the sauna. Like, they're going to obviously start wrapping back towards the main desk. They just run at the main desk and just get cut down. Like, I feel like a lot of the time, the info desk, like part of B, is usually like in between bed, is usually like your safest route to get to the point because you can just dive across and ban switch. So I don't know. I just don't like the route they take, but I honestly don't think it's a bad play. Just fortunate timing for Faze. Ended up winning them that situation.
Yeah, and then they end up getting the 8 point anyway. But then again, Faze, again, on the defense, they just do a really good job just staying alive. I mean, they never get clean wiped. They just do a good job just kind of waiting for the play to come to them, using the time to their advantage. New York, eventually their lives get drained so much. Atlanta Faze were able to win this one. Take a look at the scoreboard of BZ, 34 and 26 to end it. Sim, 31 and 30. Another big map out of them. 21 and 14 from MC. 25 and 24 from Slasher. He was 4 and 15. He ended up +1 at the end of the map. So great composure coming out of Austin in that one. But Pat, any final thoughts of the control on Atlanta Faze, New York?
No, just a good map out of Faze. My guy Abe, I think he's gonna be the stage 2 MVP, Tom, or the major 2 MVP.
Yeah, he's been looking really good. I'm not gonna lie.
Good map out of Faze, but not so much this one on the break where they get instantly flipped for P2 and another.
It'd be like that sometimes, though, Ben. It'd be like that sometimes.
Well, they've had that problem every time they played the Hydro so far this season, but a map where Priesthood went absolute ham and Faze got a 100-point club, I think for the first time in like 2 years or something like that. They hadn't been, the last time they were 100-point club was like New York at some point in 2020, I believe I saw a tweet from, I think Brian, one of the stats men on Twitter. I'm not sure which one I saw.
I mean, New York just did a good job. They did such a good job this map staying ahead of rotation. It felt like they were beating Faze to every single hill. They were always a second in front of them. And it starts from the routes with the subs too. I feel like the sub players from New York were taking good routes. They know when to push out and find a gap and try and flip spawns, and they were doing it all map long. You can see right off the bat how many points they go up. You can see Faze, right? Like, they never really get an opportunity to lock down a lot of time. New York do a really good job just kind of keeping hills white, keeping hills mixy, and especially in the slaying department when you have P-Dog who's double positive. with that Scar and Hydro, it's a good play. But it was the second rotation where New York really kicked up. They were able to hold a lot of time in his P1. But take a look at the flips here. You can see Selim, he's by himself in that dome area. And you see Hydra, he's already taken that route. He's going to swim. He's going to go all the way in behind. And I think it was MC who ends up finding him. But these spawns end up flipping. I think Atlanta Faze, they all die. Something happens here where they end up losing the spawns. And kind of cost them here. Kind of take a look at this. They just go 4 dead. They all die.
MC's in a terrible angle, bro. Yeah. What is that?
And then the flip comes in. New York get the scrap. They chain the P2. And New York they take a really big lead here. I think that's where FaZe maybe could have done something here. But take a look at this. We go into the next rotation. Slasher kind of chalks himself here, man. He ends up lighting P-Dog up in the back. But the problem is he jumps into the water. And then he can't shoot his gun because he's underwater. So he tries to come back up. P-Dog recenters. He's able to kill him. And just like that, the New York subliners are able to lock down some time here on this next hard point. Really good rotation. Thanos lost a little bit of full right there. I think Slasher got a little bit pissed off there because I would have been pissed off too. I think you got to run a pistol on this map, bro. Especially if you're an AR player. Even sub players, man, that are constantly taking the route, I feel like it's a good play to strap a pistol on for this map. Because if you're underwater, if you don't have a pistol and the other guy does, you're screwed.
It's give and take though, Tom, because this map has a lot of long routes where like having a knife would be nice outside of if you're just being in the water. So I guess it just depends on the type of player. But I was actually just going to bring up something else because, I mean, this is pretty much all she wrote. I mean, we already know the rest of this map. FaZe get 100-point clubbed. Not to take anything away from New York, because obviously they played this map well and they're a really good hardpoint team, but like, dude, even just watching some of the plays that you just pointed out, like, is it just me or is this just not cheesy? Like, I know I'm not the only one that thinks this map is going to be the first one to get removed if we get another decent map, but to me as
Fortress
a player,
Control might be the first one to go. This
well, yeah, but I'm talking about for hardpoint. But to me, it's just so fucking stupid how it's like a 3-lane map, but then there's like a 4th and 5th lane on the right and left side of the map, plus all the puddles in the map. This map plays
and you can
to
go
New York,
outside the edges.
Yeah, this map plays to New York's strengths because we've already talked about how New York is a very ratty team. Like these guys all like will take a route, just be a nuisance. Like you see it happen multiple times this map where FaZe is just like struggling to find where these players are, and New York is just catching with their pants down, whether it's with a flank or a water route. It's just it's for me as a player, this map is a Mickey Mouse map. Dude, it pisses me off because you actually can't watch everything on the map, and if you try to watch everything on the map, your players just start getting isolated and you really can't help your teammates because you have to block. It's just really frustrating.
I like where your head's at, Chris. I like where your head's at.
It's gotta go, bro. It's gotta fucking go.
It's gotta go.
Or they come out with season 2, hear me out, the snowstorm hits Hydro, freezes over the water.
I like that. No, I like that idea. We've talked about this before.
It's just it's just a little extra.
Yeah.
Listen, hey, I mean that's just ideas that are over X defiant though. So I don't know if they would do it.
Correct myself, by the way. Apparently, FaZe got a 100-point club at LATs at Champs last year, but the only other time they got a 100-point club was by Subliners 2020 and Modern Warfare 2019. Apologies on that.
Well, there you go. Take a look at the scoreboard. Look at Priesta, man. 31-11. What a map out of Priesta.
Fucking fried.
He absolutely pooped on him. Really good map out of P-Dog. Love to see the Warrior do what he's got to do. And then the last map was an Embassy S&D, but there was so many resets, guys. 3
hours.
It was a 3-hour map. There was they restarted it like 4 or 5 times.
It's like an hour and a half map, but yeah, there was some issue, Tom.
There's a lot of resets, Ben. A lot of resets.
Some around round 6 and round 7. There was an issue where the server lagged, so they replayed a round, and then when they replayed it, everybody was like on 400 ping, and then they replayed it again, and they finally got the map done. But yeah, just a lot of delays, unfortunately, on this last map for both these teams. And you could tell if you go on Twitter, and I know a couple of a couple of New York guys are in the chat. I'm sure they were all kind of collectively losing full about what happened. Game 5. Yeah,
a lot of the players were very frustrated. Obviously they were tweeting their frustrations. I know Paco was laughing about it. Some of the FaZe players were laughing about it. I don't know, man. A lot of server issues, a lot of server problems. The last map was hard to watch just because there was so many resets, so many delays, and they were playing one round every 10-15 minutes. So. And I heard that they were lagging a little bit. So just a lot of problems today, man. With the storm, obviously, it's not the colleagues' fault that the storm hit and their whole studio shut down. And then, of course, just a lot of problems with the servers. Not really too sure what happened with the servers today. But yeah, hopefully, you know, that doesn't happen again. But let's take a look. What are the next set of matches, Ben? I know they didn't show them because of all the problems and the delays. Who plays
go over
next?
the Slasher tweet, Tom?
Yeah. I mean, we could pull it up and see what Slasher had to say. But didn't he just say this game sucks? What exactly did he say?
No,
That's basically what he said. Summed it up.
he had other things to say. That's not just what he said, guys. Come on.
Let's tune in.
Do you want me to?
He went into detail about why the game sucks. That's basically what happened.
Yeah, let's take a look. Let's see what Slasher had to say. I'm just yeah, I got it, Chris. I'll pull it up.
Gotcha.
I'm sure a lot of the players now, man, are getting frustrated, man. People are getting frustrated with the game, especially because it's on a 2-year cycle. So hopefully, you know, we start seeing some changes. But let's see what oh, he tweeted a lot of tweets actually. Let's take a look here at what Slasher had to say. He said, GG's New York won 3-2. Our hardpoint practice has just not been translating to matches. Got to buckle down if we want to be great. Staircase cheating, snaking, no red dots, hearing enemies across map, and much more. How are you supposed to be consistently better when awareness and everything is legit handed to every player? Can we get a fucking skill gap back? At what point are we going to get a crumb of support? And it's too late, in my opinion, as players to put our foots down. We just accept it and do whatever it takes to win games.
Yo,
Where's the
Tom.
fucking pride and wanting to actually be the best?
Tom. Just flashbang the whole chat.
I know. I'm not signed into my Twitter.
No dark mode?
Nah, I'm not signed into Twitter, so I can't go. I trust me, bro. I'm gonna take care of that. I apologize for that, Pat. I flashbanged everybody.
Tom, I'm looking at the schedule in your chat. If you want to go ahead and pull it up, you can see what matches are coming up on Friday.
Yeah, let's take a look. Let's see what matches are coming up. Get your flashbang, get your tack mask on, because we got another white screen coming. So what is this? What are these dates? January 27th, Florida.
Friday, the one you talked about.
Boom. We got Florida versus London. We got Vegas versus New York. And we got Atlanta Faze versus the Los Angeles Guerrillas, which will be an interesting one to watch. Because obviously LAG hasn't lost a hard point. Faze has been looking pretty good. So I think that'll be a good game. And then we got some other matches coming up. We got LAG Toronto, Vegas Optic, Boston, Florida. We got some good matches coming up. Gentlemen, which one are you guys excited to watch? We got an Optic Texas Atlanta Faze on Sunday. That's going to be crazy.
Next Sunday? Yeah, that'll be good.
I would say the Friday match, the Fernando AK Jet Ski Bowl, Atlanta Faze versus LAG might be a pretty good series.
Or wait, real quick. So it's next Sunday, right, Tom?
Next Sunday is the Atlanta Faze Optic match. Yep.
Next Sunday, $500 money line on Faze.
Oh, here we go.
And I'm going to do the DoorDash challenge. I think they're going to beat them before the Faze sub arrives.
Wow, you're so dumb, dude. I hate this guy so much.
Yeah, bro, it's Slayer, man. This guy is always, I don't know, bro. He's just a different beast, bro. He's just a different animal. Ben, let's go through these matches, bro. Florida, London. Who do you guys got? I'll go with London. Let's go with London on this one. They finally got a dub on the board. Maybe it's a sign of life. Let's go London 3-2. Who do you got, Pat? We'll go with you next. Who do you got, Pat?
For which game? Sorry, Florida versus who?
Florida, London. Who do you got?
Oh, London. I'm gonna ride with London for this one. I'm gonna see if they can start some momentum. They just got to win. Obviously they lost 7 in a row or whatever it was. So I'm gonna go London.
Ben.
Oh man, I mean, this is a very similar series, I guess, to the one that London just played because both those teams, Vegas and Florida, won like one respawn so far in the cycle. I guess I'm gonna go London based on that, but if this goes to a game 5, Florida's taking it.
I want to say London's going to win it just because they just beat a team that's a very Neslo team in Vegas. But at the same time, man, I guarantee unless something crazy happens, we'll probably see a Fortress Control because I don't see Florida, playing what is it called? Hotel, as London looked pretty good on it. And then you're going to veto a CeeLo if you're London. So that Fortress Control is going to be the Mickey Mouse map. And whoever wins that map probably wins the series. So, but I think London wins it.
All right, then we got the next one. We got Vegas Legion going up against the New York Subliners. Personally, I just think Vegas, they struggled today. Their S&D is very good. They just struggle in everything else. So they really need to focus up on their respawns, but they're going up against the Major 1 champions, the New York Subliners. I got New York winning that one 3-1. I'm going to say 3-1. I can see Vegas taking the S&D. I just don't think they're going to keep opening respawns. Pat, what do you got?
Yeah, I fully agree with you, Tom. New York's gonna smoke them. Won't even be close.
Ben, who do you got?
I got New York 3-0. Sorry for the Vegas boys, but unless they can get map 2, I think this one's gonna be a very quick series.
Chris?
Sorry, Vegas is going to win probably 3-0. I mean, New York is going to win 3-0. I might have just said
I was gonna say, wow, Vegas.
New York is going to win 3-0. I just don't see Vegas does not look good this stage, like at all, besides their search. But I think New York is a competitive search team, and they're way better at respawn.
Yep, and then last series of the day will be the Los Angeles Guerrillas going up against Atlanta Faze. I think I'm going to go with Faze with that one. I think LAG... like Pat said, maybe haven't been tested too much yet. I think Atlanta Faze, when they're on point, I've been hearing they've been doing good in scrims and stuff. I think yesterday might have just been an off day for them against Minnesota. Just wasn't clicking for them. I think today they looked a lot better, a lot sharper, and they played a really good team today, and they ended up coming out with the victory. So I'm going to go with Atlanta Faze for that one. I'm going to say 3-2. I could see it being a really good series, but I could just see Atlanta Faze edging that one out. Pat, who you got?
All right, so battle of the Titans, Tom. But I think Faze is, like I said, they're gonna come crazy at the tail end of this major 2, and I think this is that reverse sweep is, or not reverse sweep, sorry, that NYSL against New York was a good win for them, and I think they're gonna smoke them in hardpoint and show that, like, hey, we the real Titans of hardpoint, even though LAG is 6-0 in the stage so far.
All right, Ben, who do you got?
This one's obviously an interesting series. When the 3 Academy boys played Faze in the event, this one won last map. I think LAG is probably a better hardpoint team right now than Faze. We're really struggling in the game mode, so we'll see if Faze can narrow that gap over the week. I got Faze probably taking this one, let's say last map. I think LAG is going to take him to the brink, but Faze will just be the better search team and close it out.
Yeah, and then we got Chris. Chris, who do you got?
I'm going to go with my boys on LAG. Not necessarily because I think they're probably going to definitely win. I'm just going to, go with my friends here. But I think it's going to be a good series regardless.
Oh, Frenchies?
We'll see. What?
No way.
We're going with the Frenchies?
Hey, man, somebody's got to root for the underdog here. I'm going to go with LAG, dude. I think they're a good team.
Okay.
All right, and then Benji, I think it's time, bro. I think it's time that you sink a putt here. It's been a long day. Everybody's tired. A lot of delays, snowstorms. You're snowed in. You got the stinky fucking slippers on. Let's see what Benji and his team could do today. Ladies and gentlemen, get your channel point predictions up in the chat. He missed it yesterday. He has been a little inconsistent on the green. Let's see what he can do here, folks. He steps up. He lines it up. We can barely see the hole, and he's going to sink the paw. He flips off the camera, and Benji and his team hits it. It's about damn time.
I hear you chirping my fucking slippers. Fuck you, bro.
It's about damn time, Benji. It's about that damn time. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a long day. It is what it is about the delays, man. Sometimes stuff happens, but hey, we made the most of it, and we remained as positive as possible. And that's all that matters, So we appreciate everybody who was tuned in all day. Appreciate everybody who's watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, anchor.fm The Flank to check out audio say so we're on. Go follow at The Flank on Twitter. Gert's doing a phenomenal job on social, so make sure to go show him some love. And as always, guys, just thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time on another episode of The Flank, man. Take care, brush your hair, and take it easy, man. Good night.
Peace.
Peace.